Hi, my name is Vitaly Sharovatov and I'm a developer advocate at Qase. Recently, I gave a talk at Testing United conference in Milan about QA approaches in hiring. So first, a little story. Ages ago, when I worked for a bank, I was the member of a guild, and this meant that I had to conduct very many interviews, from 8 to 13 a week. And I was overworking, I was unhappy, because most of the candidates didn't pass my interviews. But I never thought of questioning the process. Sometime later, when I was hired for a different company, I started interviewing people for my team. And again, I saw that very many candidates weren't passing my interviews. Let's say 5 candidates in a row weren't passing my interviews. And then I thought, well, I'm a QA professional, I'm a tester. Why don't I just ask questions? Why don't I reassess why this is happening? And so even more years ago, when I was mentoring engineering managers and QA leads, I formulated a few QA approaches, which I think can be pretty much always applied to hiring as well. Because mind you, hiring is just a process. It consists of some sub-processes. Each of them has inputs and outputs, and we can verify quality on each stage. So the first approach that I always recommend looking at is shift-left testing. When you are a tester in software development context and you see, let's say, 8 features in a row brought to you by developers, and all of these features, or most of them, are either untestable or are of bad quality, or maybe you see that developers didn't even understand the requirements well, chances are you won't simply sit and stay silent, right? You will shift your testing efforts left to the development. You will go and talk to a product manager to see how they formulate requirements. You will verify that the requirements are formulated in an easily understandable way and that most cases are covered in those requirements. Or you will pair with developers to see how they understand the requirements. So you will do something before the development, which increases the chances of the development being successful and the resulting artifact, being testable and being of a good quality. You can do the same with hiring pretty easily. If you see many candidates failing your interviews, you can always go and sit with recruiters. First, you can see if the job description, job requirements are formulated in a good way. You just review them. That's the requirements testing. You can also check if your existing employees are qualified for those job requirements, job descriptions. For instance, if you're hiring a second tester to your team and you see that the job requirements are extremely bloated, they're so big that your existing tester won't pass those requirements, then chances are recruiters will not find you good candidates. So you can check requirements with recruiters. Then you can also sit with them and see how they find people and how they filter people. Maybe they're filtering people on some strange basis that you don't see efficient for you. So that's the shift-left approach. Second approach is about the testing process and the testing depth. So essentially, we're asking ourselves, what's cheaper, deploy and fix later or test more now? In hiring, we can always ask the same question to ourselves. We can ask, is it cheaper to hire and teach the person now or keep looking for the 100% match for the job description and job requirements? And risk management helps us in this really easily. In software development, for instance, if we're working in a content management system context, we're building a CMS, we have a possibility to rely on the process of deploy and fix later. And moreover, this process might even gain us more clients because we're faster, and clients have certain tolerance towards bugs. But then, if we're working in a medical context, say we're building a firmware for a medical system, we can't simply copy that process, that testing approach and testing depth rigor from the CMS context, right? I mean, if we deploy now and fix bugs later, that could mean a death to our company or even worse to our users. And yet in hiring, I see so many companies copy testing processes from Google, say 5+ interviews spanning across months, trying to find the best of the best. While it might be more efficient and economically rational for them to hire now to simplify the interview process to, let's say, 1 or 2 interviews, and hire now and then invest more resources into mentoring this person, teaching this person, that might even increase the retention of the employees, their tenure. So when we think about the hiring methods, we should devise them, and the interview methods, we should devise them for our own unique context. So these are just 2 of the QA approaches I think should be applied to hiring, similar to software development. So if you have strong beliefs, opinions, arguments, I welcome you to Beyond Quality community, where I do this research with my fellow practitioners, and then these researches become talks and artifacts. Thank you.